We met about a decade ago, and the first film, we started doing a film prior to that, but the first film we actually did together was a film called The Rollerblade 7.
So where do you get your inspiration for your ideas when you write your scripts?
Scripts, well, I think that's the question.
Yeah.
Don and I, we work well together because we do a filmmaking style called Zen Filmmaking, which means we don't use scripts.
And that's akin to guerrilla filmmaking, which I'm very familiar with.
No, it's much more spiritually based than guerrilla filmmaking. We don't use scripts.
Cool.
We don't use
No scripts.
And you haven't had a problem with getting things to make sense?
No, it's been an advantage, actually, not having to stick to a screenplay. It allows us to have a lot more freedom, and we don't have the restrictions. And it's a lot more entertaining and far more interesting.
What did you do? Take control. Somebody's got to do it.
What? Completely spontaneous. I think that's the way to do it. Get everyone together, find out who you're, what the elements are you have in place, your locations, then the inspiration comes when you're ready.
So I'm sure you've had a lot of quote-unquote know-it-all people who would tell you that you're doing everything wrong because, I think that the status quo or the idea in town would be that the script is the Bible, and without a script, I mean, you can forget it. It'll never make sense. Things will never come together.
There seem to be an awful lot of screenplays. I was in one agent's office about a month ago, and the entire room was full of screenplays. Unfortunately, a lot of those scripts never get made.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I believe, and I'm sure Scott probably would support this, that like the Bible, it has to be lived before you write it.
There you go.
So normally we shoot our films, and of course one of the delivery requirements for foreign sales is a copy of the screenplay.
Right.
So our screenplay is mainly written after someone, we hire someone, they watch the film, and they write down all the camera angles, the dialogue, and so we have a script when we're done, but we usually don't have one when we're shooting.
That's interesting. I didn't know that about you.
That's right, and also, we believe that the stories have basically all been told. If we're going to go into a formula story, it's been done before. So it allows us the freedom to really become creative when we're on the set, work with what we have, the people we have, the set we have, and make something really interesting as opposed to something that's been done 100 times before.
Cool. Yeah, right. That's good.
I think our actors, once they get on the set, especially some of the name actors like maybe Don Stroud or William Smith, really appreciate the opportunity to be creative.
Yeah.
In other words, they haven't had to spend a couple days memorizing lines, and we give them the freedom to basically create their own part.
Right.
And say their own dialogue, and I think they have a lot more fun doing that. It's more of a creative experience for them too.
That you two are really like the soothsayers for like bringing a positive force into this universe.
So what you need to just say is like ended with that part, we were invoking the light, now it's time to invoke the light.
It's a very weak word.
Invoke the light. Invoke the light.
How many years old? That's where the power is coming from. Feeding on the soul. Soul. Yeah, I like getting the soul.
Where's my focus?
Let's don't focus this here. It's okay though.
Something like that. Another team in the south can be a smaller.
What were the Well, Don and I see ourselves as a self-contained combat unit.
On independent filmmaking, I mean, to be a producer on an independent film, you really need to know everybody's job. From
Everybody's
the cameraman
job.
to the sound mixer to the makeup artist.
So you've checked that microphone. It is working, right? Correct? Okay, thank you.
Ready for my close-up?
Where's that charger though?
It's right there. He's set up for wireless.
Okay, wire Conrad.
We do wire Conrad?
The one that's already back there?
Yeah, the one that's back. If you could tell her we can't use that green shirt because we're going to shoot against that background. Anything but green, yeah.
Well, I just think it's important to make films. I mean, that's certainly been my path to enlightenment, is the filmmaking process.
Yeah.
We've learned so much, and it's the most creative. It's the most creative job there is because it combines everything, all of your life experiences.
And that's why we call it Zen filmmaking, because it's very spontaneous.
Right.
Spontaneous enlightenment as it comes out. So, we work well together, and we have fun while we're doing it, and that's what it's all about, really.
Yeah, it really is.
We make things happen, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, it really is.
In the lower budget end of things, you just make things happen, and then you make art.